Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, verse 16. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. And although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall there be fruit in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the field shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord Jehovah. I will joy in the God of my salvation. Jehovah God is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds' feet, and he will make me to walk upon mine high places. Isaiah the 3rd chapter. For behold, Jehovah, the Lord of hosts, has taken away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man, and the counselor and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. The wise have perished. See? Verse 5, and the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thine hand. And that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be an healer, for in mine house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Jehovah, to provoke the eyes of his glory. The show of their countenance does witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Do you understand this? The children have become the kings of the house, and the women rule over the house. Where's the man? No. They which lead thee cause this to come out, giving power to the women, giving power to the kids. Throw the man out in the street. Throw him out. And the woman follows the new philosophy, well, she has the power. And little Johnny, he's the king. That's how it is today, isn't it? Yeah, so verse 13. The Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, of Judah and Jerusalem, who will rule the world when they have their Antichrist, and are already well on the way. They already have power over this world. For ye have eaten up the vineyard, The spoil of the poor is in your houses. All over the world, man. It's the poor people who are oppressed, who have been robbed, their resources taken. So a few could live in this luxury. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord Jehovah will discover their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon. The chains, the bracelets, the mufflers, the bonnets, the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, and the rings, the nose rings, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of a well-set hair, baldness. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, women, and thy mighty in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Chapter 4. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment, and by the spirit of burning. And the Lord Jehovah will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, and upon her assemblies, a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory there shall be a defense. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, for a covert from the storm, and from rain. Chapter 5. Now I will sing to my beloved the song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved had the vineyard at a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes, or rotten grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done to it? Wherefore, when I have looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do in my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste, and it shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds, that they rain no more upon it. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. And the men of Judah are his pleasant plant, and he looked for justice, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry. Now this is very similar to the parable that Jesus Christ gave about the vineyard. And they sent different servants to collect reward from the vineyard. And they beat up some, they killed others. But he says, I will send my son, my beloved. Surely they will honor him. But they beat him up and killed him and cast him out of the vineyard. Because they said, this is the heir, let us kill him, that the inheritance will be ours. And what will the Lord of the vineyard do to those men? He will utterly destroy them. They have rejected Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And they are still bringing forth the rotten grapes. And it's come to the time of ripeness for God to tread the winepress of God the Almighty. Verse 8, chapter 5, woe unto them that join house to house and lay field to field, that there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. All the power, you see, all concentrated into a few hands. Verse 9, in mine ear saith the Lord of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. Yeah, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath, and the seed of an homer shall yield an ephah. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, and continue until night, till wine inflame them. And the harp, and the viol, and the tabret, and the pipe, and wine are in their feast. But they regard not the work of the Lord, Jehovah, neither consider the operation of his hands. Same way today. Therefore my people are going into captivity, because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened up her mouth without measure. And their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. The word hell there is the Hebrew word Sheol. It means the grave, same as in the New Testament. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled, but the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in justice. The God that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin, as it were, with a cart rope, that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, and put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that puts bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes, and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel.